there, my name is Kim Kelly. I'm an author of fiction and I am very chuffed to be taking part in these author talks thanks to the Sydney Mechanics School of Arts and the Thomas Keneally Centre. The SMSA was the very first lending library to be established in Sydney back in 1833 and its doors are still open today over in Pitt Street. The Thomas Keneally Centre Library is part of the SMSA, and part of the purpose of these author talks is to make people aware that these libraries exist and are welcoming places to enjoy a bit of quiet time, bit of reading time, bit of writing time maybe in the crazy busy centre of the city. It's also really wonderful for me to be at Gleebooks this morning. It's a bookstore that's supported Australian reading and writing now for more than 40 years. In fact, it was my go-to bookshop 30 years ago when I was a student at Sydney University up the road, a student of literature harbouring a very secret desire to be a writer. Years later, seeing one of my novels in the Gleebooks catalogue was a fairly unbeatable thrill, one of the thrills of my life. That was about 5 years ago now, and that book was this book, The Blue Mile. It's a tale set here in Sydney during the Great Depression and the building of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Like all my stories, it's a mix of gritty drama and romantic idealism, a story that looks at the social changes and politics of the past and asks what's changed today. The Blue Mile was my third novel actually. I've had six of them published all up so far, and here they all are. There's Black Diamonds, This Red Earth, and of course The Blue Mile. Then there was Paper Daisies, and more recently Jewel C and My Little Wild Chicory. All these stories are very Australian in flavour. And apart from wanting to craft compelling and entertaining tales, what drives me to write them is a desire to get a closer understanding of what this Australia thing is, this place we share, who we are as a people, and where we've come from. I take my little candle of curiosity into some forgotten corners inside big moments of Australian history, and I'm always surprised at the things I find there. Australia is a wonderful country. So blessed to live here. We're a place of extremes though, and I don't just mean droughts and flooding rains by that. We're a place of extraordinary generosity and optimism, but sometimes a place of extraordinary meanness and unfairness too, and fear. These contradictions are endlessly fascinating to me, so much so that I have more ideas for writing novels than I do years left to write them. But as I mentioned, I kept my writing a secret for a very long time. Although I'd harboured this secret scribbling desire since childhood, I didn't think I was clever enough to do anything so marvellous as write a novel. So I became the next best thing, a book editor. And that turned out to be life-changing. Working with other authors so closely gave me not only a fabulous education in writing, but eventually it gave me the courage to give it a proper go myself. If I could whisper into the ear of that young and anxious writer today, I'd tell her, trust yourself. Have a bit more faith in your talents and your yearnings. Writing is a game of lifelong learning. No one gets it right the first time. In fact, arguably, no one ever gets it right at all. Writing stories is a quest for understanding and one that never ends. I'd also tell that young writer to forget the bestseller lists and whatever's fashionable at the time. You can put other people's idea of success in the bin as well. Your road is your road and it won't look like anyone else's. And you can say the same for your reading road as well. Read the stories and authors that inspire and excite your imagination. That's going to mean a different set of books for every writer. Your words are an ever-unfolding map of your mind and heart, and they are magic. Each time a reader picks up your stories, there's your soul touching another soul, and there's no more greater magic than that. If someone had told me all those years ago that my stories would one day find their way into the hands of readers across the world, I'd have said no way. But they have, and they just keep coming. I'm busting with joy right now because my next novel, my 7th novel, Lady Bird and the Fox, is coming out in April, just a few weeks away. I haven't got my hands on an actual copy yet, but here's a postcard of the cover. It's a gold rush tale of bushrangers and mistaken identity, and I can't wait to share her with the world. So whatever it is you're writing right now, I wish you all the very best. May you have many, many adventures on the page. Well, go on, get on with it. Get yourself to the library right now. In fact, get yourself to the Sydney Mechanics School of Arts Library today. Do some writing.